Your thoughts when 50 Cent blamed the second season ratings dip on gay stuff?
First of all, the pot calling the kettle black.
People think Soulja Boy was only beefing with Marlon Wayans? Wrong. This man's battling a whole closet stuffed with skeletons, and he's losing big time. What started as just a quick radio jab has cracked open years of Soulja's buried secrets, and they're way nastier than anyone expected. Forget the basics everybody already knows.
Soulja Boy, he been canceled. Nobody cares Soulja Boy. So Soulja Boy better go get that check. Yeah, I don't think he had hits and
It's been a minute.
Yeah, he did that performance at a crypto event during Trump's inauguration weekend, and yeah, Marlon brushed him off in a radio chat. But here's the real tea. What most don't realize is why Soulja's reaction blew up so wild. When somebody's hiding as much dirt as Big Draco, even the smallest shot feels like the whole world might find out the truth. Soulja didn't waste a second. He ran straight to X and dropped this comeback. I can't believe I'm arguing with a dude that dressed up like a white chick. What's wrong with me? But Marlon's no rookie. He's a comedy veteran, and he fired back with precision, tearing into Soulja's carefully built image. And wow, that image started crumbling instantly. The industry's been whispering about Soulja's contradictions for years, and now it was all out in the open. Then came the bombshell.
I loved it. I had some it was Louis, it was everything, and it was perfect. And he was like, take this, you white, like he kept, like, he's very like into like the race play stuff. Soulja. But here's the thing, I don't know if this was really him or it was like drunk.
William DeBoss popped up on Tasha K's podcast with what he called receipts from his alleged run-in with Soulja. He didn't just talk, he gave scary specific details. William described the condo layout, listed bottles from the liquor cabinet, and even pointed out tattoos that don't show in public pics. That's the kind of detail you can't just invent. And the craziest part? This wasn't the only time stories like this came out. Vivica Fox had been dropping breadcrumbs way back when she spoke about that XXL cover with Soulja Boy and 50 Cent. When people brought up 50 blaming low ratings on gay stuff, Vivica clapped back with that sly tone, basically saying, I know what these men are really doing. And trust, Vivica's no rookie in this game. She's been around long enough to see every curtain pulled back in the industry. Now line that up with Soulja's over-the-top reaction to Marlon's joke, going from calm to full-on transphobic in seconds. That's textbook projection. When someone's hiding their own insecurities, they go extra hard attacking others to cover it up. But then things got wild when Marlon unleashed that country-style diss track. The moment it dropped online, it was chaos. He rapped, Soulja Boy is on CAC and meth. I can smell it on his breath. Yes, he's on that, Chris. It's KAC. The internet went nuts. Group chats lit up, DJs spun it in clubs, and even radio stations couldn't resist blasting it. Overnight, Marlon flipped from just being an actor, clapping back to a full-on viral star, spitting bars sharper than any comedy punchline ever could. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get crazier, TMZ cameras caught him leaving a restaurant in LA. You'd think he'd cool things down, right? Nope. Marlon went savage right there on camera with the world watching.
Were your thoughts when 50 Cent blamed the second season ratings dip on gay stuff?
First of all, the pot calling the kettle black.
He mocked Soulja's music, saying, you got songs, and I only remember one of them. Watch Me You, and Be With Me. Get out of here. Then he delivered the knockout line. I put you in one of the movies. That was the kill shot. But then Soulja made a massive mistake. He dragged the beef to a whole different level by taking aim at Marlon's transgender son, Kai. He sneered, that runs in the family, huh? Marlon Wayans. No wonder you like dressing up as a bop. That line crossed the line, and the backlash was instant. When Soulja sneered, it's in your blood, that's when everything officially crossed the line. In Hollywood and the music world, everybody knows everybody's secrets. They just keep it quiet until someone gives them a reason to spill. And by coming for Kai, Soulja basically handed Marlon the green light to unleash every hidden skeleton in his closet. And man, did they come dancing out? One of the biggest cracks in Soulja's image has always been the difference between his tough guy act and what allegedly happens when he's really put to the test. And nothing shows that better than that wild night at his mansion that ended with gunfire and a whole lot of legal smoke. Here's the scene. What was supposed to be a lit album celebration turned into something straight out of a crime series. Soulja swears masked intruders stormed in, forcing him to go full action hero. He even said, "Get my partner say," before things spiraled completely out of control. Soulja claims someone was laid on the floor, but the truth behind that night is way messier than his version.
You can't do 2 songs, and I only remember one of them. Watch me, you. Beef with me. Get out of here.
The shooting centered around a man named Droop, and their stories couldn't clash harder. According to Soulja, masked intruders stormed into his home, forcing him to defend himself. But Droop tells a whole different story. He says he and his crew weren't random invaders at all. They were actually signed to Soulja's own label. The real drama started when they heard one of their tracks blasting at Soulja's album release party. But this time with Soulja's verse slapped on top without permission or payment. And Droop's recent interviews made the whole thing even darker. He claims Soulja had promised them production credits, features, and even a slice of the streaming revenue when they signed. But after months of putting in work, creating content, choreographing shows, they walked away with nothing. No credits, no cash, zero recognition. That's what sparked the confrontation that ended with bullets flying. When asked how much Soulja Boy really owed them, Droop didn't hesitate. "That was us. That was us all day." He swears that when he confronted Soulja about stealing their track, the argument got heated fast. Droop even claims he slapped Soulja twice before things took a deadly turn. That's when Soulja allegedly pulled the trigger. But here's the twist. Droop didn't die at the scene. He somehow made it to a car, got rushed to the hospital, and actually woke up in handcuffs. That's right. While he was fighting for his life, cops were already treating him like a criminal. Why?
One of the movies. I need a crackhead for the new scary. I need a crack and a meth head all mixed together. You're perfect. I need someone that looks like a wet Muppet. That's what I am. I need crack and meth together. I need cref together. I want someone to look like they'll sell your car, rob you, and suck all at the same time. Soulja Boy.
Because Soulja had gotten to the police first, spinning his own version of the story. Droop was charged with attempted robbery and faced 25 years behind bars. And the craziest part? Soulja's story didn't even add up. At first, he told cops 5 masked men broke in. Later, that number mysteriously dropped to 3. And get this, the number of weapons Soulja described kept changing every time he told the story. But Droop wasn't going down easy. He hired powerhouse lawyer Brian Steele. Yeah, the same guy who defends Young Thug, and Steele tore the case apart. With no solid evidence, the prosecution crumbled, and Droop only served a year, most of which he'd already spent behind bars. What makes it even wilder is that Soulja's own former right-hand man, AAB, actually backed up Droop's version. Even though the two had been beefing for years, AAB's voice reportedly shook when he described the so-called masked intruder, hinting that something traumatic really went down that night. Still, the streets are left wondering who's really telling the truth. But Droop wasn't the only one crying foul. This looks like a pattern.
My partner say, "Man, who the f in this crib?" A-Rap passed me the bam, I look through the door. I see like 3-4 running through the crib. All black, mask on, running through the crib. One run to the front door. I hop out, I start shooting. Bow, 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 bow. Shot the bow, shot his ass. Bow, 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 bow. All the niggas.
Multiple artists who've worked with Soulja claim the same thing. He lures them in with promises of features, exposure, and money that never comes. Then their work magically ends up credited to him. Even his business moves seem to follow the same shady formula. Remember when Soulja bragged about being the first rapper to launch a gaming console? Yeah. Turns out it was nothing but a rebranded Chinese emulator with a sky-high price tag. Or that time he flexed about owning a giant mansion, only for people to find out it was just an Airbnb rental. And let's not forget the Trump inauguration crypto gig, where he basically admitted he only moves for the highest bidder. All these contradictions explain why Marlon's roast cut so deep. He wasn't just clowning. He was exposing how Soulja built his whole brand on smoke and mirrors. Instead of focusing on building a solid career, Soulja spent years screaming about being the first to do things, only to end up looking like a one-hit gimmick. And when the heat got too real, Soulja panicked and wiped his tweets. He even posted, "I apologize for crashing out."
Soulja Boy owes
everything he got, he owed me.
realistically, man.
Everything. From the dances that he used to wear, to the dance move, to the clothes with the paint on it.
All of that was us.
That was us.
I just be trying to defend self, but sometimes I take it too far. Back to the music and TV shows. Love y'all. But it was way too late. The damage was already done. This beef hits different because it shows exactly how shady the entertainment game can really be. There's an unspoken code in the game. Some things stay off limits unless somebody crosses that invisible line. And when Soulja came at Marlon's son Kai with that transphobic trash, he stomped right over it. See, Marlon's always been solid when it comes to standing with Kai. Just this past June, he posted pride photos with a caption that had people calling him Father of the Year. He wrote, "As a father of a child in the LGBTQ+ community, I show my support. Zero costs what people think. If I lost you, good, that's real." And that's why the LGBTQ+ community rallied around Marlon the second this drama exploded. Within hours, Protect Kai was trending, and brands that had been lining up with Soulja suddenly started ghosting him. Money talks, and it was saying loud and clear, "We're good on you, Soulja." And Marlon, he didn't hesitate.
I said, "What you gonna do with that?" So I slapped him again.
Okay. And then after you slapped him again, he let off?
That's when he let off. That's when I got hit right here, in the front of my thigh.
He clapped back with a line that shut it all down. If Soulja Boy had a career, he could get canceled for this type of slander. Straight body bag. Marlon didn't just clap back, he buried Soulja. He hit him with, "Luckily, he ain't been relevant since 2007. Then twisted the knife with another post. "My child had top surgery and still has more chest than you." That line went nuclear. 2 million likes in just hours. That's when you know Marlon really connected with the people. And the craziest part, watching who the industry actually stood with. Marlon built an empire in living color, white chicks, sold-out stand-up shows. His legacy is solid. Meanwhile, Soulja's still trying to stretch crank, that like it's 2007, while pushing shady side hustles nobody buys into. Look at the loyalty check. A-listers lined up behind Marlon, while Soulja's corner looked empty and sad. Even artists who used to collab with him suddenly caught memory loss. That silence said it all. Now we're watching the fallout live.
Gave me a bag. Obama ain't never put no money in my pocket. Kamala ain't never put no money in my pocket. Trump put money in.
3 major sponsors already yanked their checks, and Soulja's streaming numbers are tanking hard. Meanwhile, Marlon's out here getting honored, inducted into the NAACP Image Awards Hall of Fame. That's a real win. Marlon's already stacking up wins, reportedly locking in major studio offers for LGBTQ+ projects, while his social media engagement is going crazy. Soulja might have been the pioneer of internet rap marketing back in the day, but in 2025, he just got cooked by someone who knows exactly how to run these new media streets. Marlon played it like a pro. First the texts, then the pictures, then that country diss track. A full-on masterclass in how to shut down a beef. And here's the big takeaway. When your whole life's built on cap, you don't come for a comedy legend's kid, especially when that legend is sitting on a vault full of industry secrets that have been brewing for years. Scoreboard check, Marlon stays winning, NAACP Hall of Fame honors, fresh studio deals, and the people riding with him strong, Soulja, closet emptied out, and now all them skeletons are out here doing the electric slide in broad daylight. But I want to know what you think. Who really took the crown in this beef? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, and hit subscribe, because this saga ain't over yet. Insiders are whispering that Soulja's closet still has more skeletons waiting to tumble out. And big shout out to everyone who stuck with us through this wild ride. You're the real MVPs.